In the busy city of Lagos, full of big dreams and quiet wishes, lived Amara Okafor. She was a beautiful woman with a strong will. Her life with her powerful husband, Benjamin Okafor, seemed perfect: a grand house, fancy cars, and endless parties. But behind the rich outside, a dark plan was starting. Amara felt betrayed by Ben's wandering eyes and the hushed talks of his side chick. Her love turned into a burning anger. She carefully made a plan for a silent revenge to get back what she thought was hers. But fate had a cruel twist waiting for her, showing that even the best-laid plans can lead to the saddest end. Welcome to today's episode on Twisted Love Files. Ben had loved Amara very much when they were younger, but over time his love moved to other women younger and more exciting. Soon, the name Zainab became a hateful word in Amara's mind. Zainab was Ben's assistant, and she seemed to have everything Amara no longer had. Amara's heart filled with anger, turning her love into a slow, hot rage. She watched Ben, learned his habits, and a dark idea formed. She remembered an old story from her grandmother about a rare, hidden poison made from a local plant. This poison would make someone slowly sick like a long illness. Amara spent weeks looking for it, asking quiet questions, until she found what she needed. Slowly, carefully, Amara started her terrible task. A drop in his morning coffee, a tiny bit in his evening tea. Every day she watched Ben get weaker. His loud laugh turned into a cough. His sharp mind became tired and hazy. The doctors were confused, giving him different diagnoses, but nothing explained why he was getting worse so fast. Amara acted like a sad wife perfectly, her face showing worry, her voice full of fake sadness. Finally, the day came. Ben died peacefully in his sleep. Amara cried real tears, a mix of relief, sadness, and a strange feeling of success. The funeral was big, with important people from Nigeria attending, all comforting the heartbroken widow. Then came the reading of Ben's will. Amara sat calmly, expecting to get most of Ben's money. She was his wife, after all, and the mother of his children. But as the lawyer's words filled the rich room, Amara's world fell apart. Ben had left everything: the house, the businesses, the money overseas, to Zainab Sani. Not a penny for Amara. The shock hit her hard. Her fake sadness broke, replaced by a cold, burning anger. All her planning, her waiting, the slow, painful poisoning, it was all for nothing. She had slowly poisoned her husband for a future she thought was hers. And he, in his last act, had taken it all away, giving it to the woman she hated. The lawyer kept talking, but Amara heard nothing. Her eyes were fixed on Zainab, who sat across the room, looking shocked but also clearly pleased. At that moment, surrounded by the echoes of her terrible secret, Amara understood what a crime of passion truly meant. It wasn't just about love, hate, or revenge. It was about the crushing, unexpected result of a heart filled with darkness, and the bitter irony of a perfect crime that brought the most painful outcome. Amara's mind, spinning with disbelief and anger, became very clear. The image of the sad widow, which had fooled everyone, even herself sometimes, was now gone. She had risked everything, gone to dark places, all for a prize that had been cruelly taken from her. The fancy living room, full of the lawyer's quiet words and Zainab's quiet joy, felt like a cage. Her first thought was a deep, wild rage. She wanted to scream, to rip up the will, to show everyone that Zainab was just a side chick. But years of living in Lagos's tough society had taught her to stay quiet and think. She clenched her hands, her nails digging into her skin, making a silent promise deep in her despair. This was not over. Not at all. Amara's sharp and clever mind started to work. She knew Nigeria's legal system was complex, but not impossible. Wills could be challenged. There were reasons. If Ben wasn't thinking clearly, if he was forced to make the will, or if it was fake. Ben had been sick, his mind often cloudy. She had powerful friends, women who owed her favors, who could talk to the right people. Lawyers would be eager for such a big case, especially with the Okafor name and so much money involved. But even as she planned legal steps, a deeper, stronger wish for her own kind of justice pulled at her. The poison she had used was hidden, a ghost in the blood, looking like a natural sickness. She had been very careful. No one would ever suspect, or so she had thought. But what if Zainab, in her proud happiness, made a mistake? What if she said something, some small detail that could be twisted and used against her? Amara stood up, a polite, forced smile on her face. I need a moment, she whispered. The lawyer, used to such reactions, nodded kindly. Zainab offered a quick, "I'm so sorry, Amara," which sounded like scratching nails to Amara. She went to her private room, the main bedroom she had once shared with Ben. The air felt heavy with memories, some sweet, many bitter. She looked at his empty side of the bed, and a cold wave washed over her. She hadn't just lost a husband. She had lost her future, her standing, her very self, all to a woman she saw as a leech. The anger sharpened into a cold, strong resolve. Legal fights were long and messy, and Amara was not known for being patient. There were other ways to make a life miserable, to get her revenge bit by bit. Zainab would not enjoy Ben's money while Amara was still alive. She would find a way to make Zainab's life a living hell, little by little. Perhaps she would start by quietly ruining Zainab's good name in their rich circles. Whispers about unfair influence on a dying man. Hints of a gold digger tricking a weak Ben. Lagos high society loved gossip, and Amara was a master at spreading harmful stories. And then there was the house. Her house. The mansion she had turned into a home. Zainab living in it, sleeping in her bed, would be too much to bear. Amara would fight for it fiercely. If she couldn't have everything, she would at least get back her home, a symbol of her past and her right to a future. But beneath the anger and careful plans, a chilling thought remained. The poison had been her perfect crime, her silent, unseen revenge. Now, with everything lost, a dangerous question started to form. If one poison had failed to secure her future, what other kinds of poison, real or not, could she use to get it back? The stakes were higher now, and Amara Okafor, the once grieving widow, was a woman with nothing left to lose and everything to avenge. The game, she knew, had just begun. The cough that started for Zainab was a dark echo in the grand Okafor house. It wasn't loud at first, but it stayed, a dry, annoying sound that seemed to get worse each day. Amara watched her from the shadows, feeling a cold, calm satisfaction. The doctors were puzzled, just like they had been with Ben. They gave Zainab medicines for her cough, saying her tiredness and loss of appetite were due to stress from the court cases and Ben's recent death. Zainab, though strong at first, found herself getting more and more tired. The mansion, which was supposed to show her new wealth, started to feel like a suffocating prison. The legal fight with Amara was exhausting, and the quiet coldness from Lagos high society slowly chipped away at her confidence. Her lively spirit faded, replaced by pale skin and tiredness that even her makeup couldn't hide. She started canceling appointments, spending most of her days in the fancy bedroom she now used. Amara, meanwhile, played the part of the worried opponent perfectly. She'd send fruit baskets, kind messages through others, all while carefully watching Zainab get sicker. The court case continued, but it seemed unimportant to Amara now. The real judgment, she knew, was being delivered, little by little, inside the mansion walls. Then came the day Zainab collapsed. It was quiet, found by a housemaid. Rushed to the hospital, she was put in intensive care. The doctors, worried, did every test they could, but found nothing clear. Her organs were failing one by one, looking like a rare, aggressive illness. Amara visited the hospital, her face showing the right amount of worry. She offered comfort to Zainab's upset family, who were confused by their daughter's sudden, strange sickness. They talked about the stress, the sudden money, the burden of the inheritance. Amara listened, her eyes dry, a feeling of victory humming deep inside her. News of Zainab's serious condition spread quickly, adding another layer of dark interest to the Okafor story. A week later, Zainab Sani died quietly, giving in to the same mysterious illness that had taken Benjamin Okafor. The two deaths, so strangely similar, raised some questions among doctors, but with no clear proof, they remained medical mysteries. The will, of course, changed back. With Zainab gone, Ben's huge fortune, his businesses, and the Lekki mansion all went to his only living relative, Amara Okafor. The court case, which had become a public show, was quietly ended. Amara was now, without a doubt, the only person to inherit the Okafor empire. She stood in the large living room of the mansion, now truly hers, a faint smile on her lips. The whispers of the past, the echoes of her perfectly carried out crimes, seemed to disappear into the rich silence. She had won. She had reached her final goal. Amara Okafor became a very powerful woman in Lagos. She made Ben's businesses even bigger, and her name meant power and success. She moved among the rich and famous, admired and respected, with her dark secrets hidden deep under her wealth and calm look. The police never saw the deaths as anything but natural. The undetectable poison had made sure of that. Yet, sometimes late at night, as she lay in the big, empty bed that Ben, and then briefly Zainab had shared, a different kind of coldness would fill Amara. It wasn't fear of being caught, but a quiet, chilling feeling. She had gotten everything she wanted, but at what cost? The silence in the mansion was complete, but deep in her own mind, the whispers of two lingering shadows, two deaths no one could explain, would sometimes break through the calm surface of her perfect win. Amara had gotten away with it, but she lived with the chilling truth that she had created her own lonely victory. Do you think Amara will ever truly find peace? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and thanks for watching.